Today we have to study environmental science and the topic of noise pollution and source of noise pollution. Before we have to start our lecture, we have to discuss some pollution. Pollution means શું? Pollution કોને કહેવાય? કે જે unnecessary generate થાય છે, જેની કોઈ રિક્વાયરમેન્ટ નથી હોતી, તો એ બધા પોઈન્ટ્સ છે ને આપણે પોલ્યુશન કહી શકીએ. અનનેસેસરી રિક્વાયર્સ, જેની કોઈ જરૂરિયાત નથી અને આપણે એને જોઈએ છીએ, ધેટ્સ ઓલ આર કોલ એઝ એ પોલ્યુશન. પોલ્યુશનનું કોઈ ફિક્સ ટાઈપ, કોઈ ફિક્સ ડેફિનેશન નથી. બરાબર? લેટ્સ વી હેવ ટુ સ્ટાર્ટ. We have to discuss in for this lecture. The topic is noise pollution and source of noise pollution. In chapter number 2, the subject of environmental science. What is the noise pollution? How it's created? We have to study in this lecture defining noise pollution, understanding of noise pollution, its working pressure, working sound measurement, and its sources. That's all topic we have to discuss in this lecture. But first, we have to show the basic or introduction of noise pollution. What is noise pollution? Noise pollution means that unnecessary sound are created in our atmosphere. That's called as a noise pollution. There is a various type of the sound are available in the atmosphere. Some of the meaningful sound and some of the unnecessary sound. Meaningful sound, that means we have to speaking with each other. That's called as a meaningful sound. Some of the sound is there that is a not meaningful, or it's a say as a unnecessary sound are created in our atmosphere which are not required to ours. That's called as a noise pollution. Some of the heavy industry vehicle, high speed vehicle, aeroplanes, mining area, power generation, that's all our component are creating a heavy sound. That's all unnecessary sound. We have to not require that type of the sound. That's unnecessary sound we call as a noise pollution. Noise is unpleasant and unwanted sound. That's we have to not require for our routine life. That's all types of the sound are called as a noise pollution. Sound is that what we hear. What is the sound? It means that what we hear, that's all called as a sound. But unnecessary sound we can hear, that's called as a pollution. But some of the sound is meaningful, or some of the communication and speaking with each other, that's called as a meaningful sound. So it's called as a sound or noise, but we not say as a noise pollution. That's so to considering in a only and only sound. Unwanted sound, that's called as a noise. The difference between sound and noise depend upon the listener and circumstance. That means that what is the difference between sound and noise? Sound is that the it's are always created by the other. Either it's an meaningful sound, that's called as a noise. Otherwise, it's called as a sound. And other or not, it's unwanted, so that is called as a pollution. Next is a unit of measurement. How can we measure the our sound? Is there some requirement for measurement unit? The sound power. First is a sound power. It is the wound energy transfer per second from the sources to the air. That's called as a power expressed in a watt. We have to calculating unit for any sound power in a watt. It means here is a some of the energy are created by these some sources, and the that sound are transfer with atmospheric air. Without atmospheric air or without air, sound are not transferred. It's creating a some waves generation in a air, and these waves are transferred in a atmosphere air. Just like as a here I have to putting one sound creator, that's are creating a sound. And Some of the waves are generated from the sources, and these waves are transferred into the air. And here is a one receiver that are receive the sound. Intermediate or mediator is required air, and we have to measure this intensity of this sound wave. That's called as a unit of measurement, and we have to represent it in a watt. Then after the next is a sound power level. Sound power level in a watt converted into the decimal scale is called as a sound power level. Most often we have to measure our sound in a decibel. But first we have to measure in a watt for an intensity transfer in the air. Then after this sound measurement in a watt and converted into the decimal scale, that's called as a sound power level. Then after the next topic is a sound pressure. What is the sound pressure? It is the amount of air pressure fluctuation created by the source of sound. Means here the one of the source are creating a sound, and waves are generated from these sources, and it's created some pressure. Means here it is a created some pressure in a atmospheric condition. That's called as a sound pressure. Just I will like to give you one example for that. If you have to hearing a higher bass sound, that's are creating a very high fluctuation, we can feel that the bass effect, we can feel that from the sources or any speakers. That are called as a sound pressure. It's a creating a some pressure, but its pressure is not more than high. We have not absorbing for this sound, but it's a nominal pressure, but it's a creating a sum of pressure and sound waves. That's called as a sound pressure. Sound pressure is expressed as a Pascal. A healthy young person can hear sound pressure is low pressure at 0.00002 Pascal. This is the capacity of our human or healthy person can hear a sound pressure up to this level. What is the sound pressure level? Sound pressure level converted into the decimal scale is called as a sound pressure level. Decimal is a use in environmental noise pollution to measure a sound power. That's a repeated definition. What is the sound pressure level? Sound pressure level is the first sound are measured by in a watt unit. Then after the this watt unit or any measurement numbering, we have to convert it into the decimal, and that's called as a sound pressure level. And this measurement of the sound pressure level is sound intensity and sound pressure level we have to measure. We have to measure for this up and down movement of the wave. That's called as a wave intensity or sound wave intensity. Then after we converted into the decimal scale. Normally any type of the sound or any type of the higher level sound or pollution, we directly measure in a decimal scale. Because of that, the decimal scale is mostly used in all type of the measurement of sound. You have to not measure in a watt. Any type of the meter are directly converted watt to a decimal scale. Noise rating system. What is the noise rating system? A noise may be consist of different type of this sound, like as a continuous sound, intermediate sound, and impulse with a different pressure level for operating for different time interval. Noise rating system is there is a types of sound. Continuous sound means it's a creating a continuous sound or repetitive sound. That's called as a continuous sound. Intermediate sound, sometimes we can hear a higher level sound, and sometimes we hear a lower level sound. Sometimes it's a giving a break, and then after it's creating a more sound. That's called as a intermediate sound. Means one time we can hear, second time it's a stop. Then after third time we can hear, fourth time it can be stop. Means it's come in a intermediate waves, not coming to a continuous wave. Some of the impulse sound. Impulse sound means that the it's creating a sound with the perfect time interval. Impulse sound means we have to hear one noise. After completing this noise, 2 to 3 seconds or maximum to 5 seconds, it take rest. Then after create a more sound. Then after it take a 5 second rest. Then after creating sound, that's called as a impulse sound. Means one time it's a sound created. Then after it take a rest. Then after it's creating sound. Then after creating a or take a rest. Then after creating sound, taking a rest. That type of the sound are called as a impulse sound. It's a work between two sound with a perfect time interval. The frequency of this sound is may vary. The combined result impact of different sound pressure is listing different period is worked out by using the some statistical measurement by as a LN and LEQ system. This type of the sound are combined result impact in a different sound pressure listing. And that type of the sound staticals means here it's creating a sound wave. Here it's creating a sound wave. And this sound wave we have to measure in a different scale ratio and creating a its graph. What is the sound average value, what is the sound higher value, and what is the sound lower value. And that statistical measurement we have to measure in a LN and LEQ system. What is the LN? How can we show the LN? The parameter Ln is a statistical measure indicating how frequency is particular sound level is exceeded. The value for Ln will represent the sound pressure and its exceed for n percentage of the gauging time. Here we have to measuring a number of value from the sound and the particular sound level is can exceed. We have to measure some sound level from starting its we have to writing just for that starting from 10 level dB sound to 80 dB sound, but the sound is going more than 80 dB level means it's a over creating sound or creating a heavy noise or it's a exceeding for this value. That's called as a higher frequency level, and this type of the higher frequency level sound we can not hear, otherwise we can damage our organ inside the body. That is a possibility. Most of the sound level for hearing any young person or any human person is maximum to 60 dB. More than 60 dB we cannot hear. The friction with the air make the sound wave, so the intensity wave transfer into the atmosphere. This intensity transfer and converted by the watt and converted by the decimal in the maximum of 260 dB we can hear in our human body. Then after that we have to study what is the source for noise pollution. How many source are available that are creating a noise pollution? There are the many more sources for a noise, but we have to not consider all because of the some of the noise is our meaningful noise. So that's we have to not considering this type of the noise in our source of noise pollution. Only that we have to consider that are creating a maximum sound that's are not required. That's all are called as a source of noise pollution. First is a traffic source, industrial source, construction source, and other miscellaneous sources. This is the maximum source that are creating a more sound that are not acceptable because of it's creating a harmful effect to all live bodies. First is a traffic source. Traffic source means that there is a many more vehicle are working on road, on railway, on by sea, and on by air. That are creating a maximum noise pollution in our earth. Noise created by the various means of the transport like as a truck, tractor, bus, train, aeroplane, etc. are the traffic related source of noise pollution. That's all types of the vehicle are creating a noise pollution. It may be form of horn of vehicle with damaged silencer, and noise produced by the diesel car will be more than that the produced by an petrol car. A jet aircraft will produce a more noise than the propeller type aircraft. Just we have to discuss in detail some of the manufacturers vehicles. It's a give your vehicle in a rules and regulation between its limit, but we have to change our as per requirement, like as a, we have to change in silencer, change in horn, change in a lighting system, change in ignition system. That's our changes creating a vehicle excess sound produced when it's in a running condition. As per the norms and rules of regulation, all are followed by the manufacturer company. And after it's launched this product in a atmosphere or our human life. But for our some requirements, we can change our necessity as per requirement in our all types of the vehicle. That changes are creating a excess noise. First example is given horn of vehicle. On of vehicle dB level is already maintained level, but we have to changes its circuit or change by higher friction horn and creating a noise pollution in our atmosphere. That's are the producing a noise pollution in our atmosphere. Vehicle with damaged silencer. Some silencer are damaged and it's creating a heavy noise like as a some of the rickshaw, that silencer are not very well and it's a damage, or sometimes it may be totally damaged silencer and it's creating a heavy noise pollution. Here are some example I would to give you. This is the best example for an silencer. As per the requirement and as per the norms, the bullet silencer is a very silent. It's are not creating a heavy noise during its ignition system or running system of the bike, but we have to change the silencer as per the given or manufacturer fitted. We have to replace this silencer and we have to add another silencer, and that's a creating a very much noise in our atmosphere. Sometimes it's a dB level is very high, up to 100 dB. This is a very dangerous noise pollution are created and affected to all living bodies. This is not fair. We have to changing the silencer as per the given the manufacture system as per our facility and our hobbies. These are creating a heavy much noise in atmosphere. Another source is a noise produced by the diesel car will come more than the produced by the petrol car. If the compare between petrol car and diesel car, the diesel car creating a more noise because of the compression ratio is very high. So diesel car creating a more noise as per compared to petrol car because of the petrol car has a lower compression ratio. So it's creating a lower sound. Some of the jet aircraft will produce more noise than a propeller type aircraft. Here the considering between jet aircraft and propeller aircraft. Propeller aircraft creating a noise is a, we can accept that, but it's a lower noise compared to jet aircraft. Jet aircraft creating a very much noise pollution because of there is a heavy speed and transfer in a supersonic speed in our atmosphere. So it's creating a very much noise. The noise form produced by the jet aircraft, we can hear up to 3 to 4 kilometer. That's a heavy noise because of is a heavy speed required to run in an atmosphere. So it's creating a heavy noise pollution in our atmosphere. Second is a industrial sources. Noise is essential by produce the industry. Its intensity and nature being depend upon the type of industry. Most of the industry are creating a heavy noise, but we cannot fix that. That type of the industry are producing a that's the perfect level of the noise pollution, but it's depend on the types of industry, which type of the industry are, or which type of the material is producing, raw material producing, manufacture processing. That's are depend on that they are producing a noise pollution. Some of the example is given: reciprocating and rotary machinery. Reciprocating and rotary machinery are creating a noise because of their running in a heavy speed, so it's creating a noise. Cutting of machine and grinding, that's also creating a noise. Here a cutting material and grinding machine is not small, there is a heavy size and work with a heavy metal, so it's a creating a noise pollution. Blow hammer means pneumatic types of the hammer are working with the air pressure, that's are creating a heavy much noise inside the industry. Means it's a work with the pressure, air pressure, and give the work output. That's called as a blow hammer. And this type of the blow hammer also creating a noise pollution. Some of the generator also creating a noise pollution because of the there is a one IC engine running inside the generator, and it's a giving a one exhaust from the silencer, so it's also a creating a noise pollution in our atmosphere. That's all are the sources of industrial noise pollution. Then after the construction sources, civil site also are creating a noise pollution, like as a rock crusher and production of aggregates. Some of the rocks are we have to using in our construction, and then after these rocks are break and convert into the fine particle as per our requirement. That's type of the all machinery like as a earth moving machinery that are creating a noise pollution. Pile driving equipment means it's a creating a noise pollution in our atmosphere. Boring and drilling equipment we can show in our residential area also, that's a creating a heavy much noise in our atmosphere. Because of that there is a required one compressor to blow out, and there is a required one drilling machine. That's both machine are creating a noise pollution. Road roller, if the new road are constructed, there is a required many more procedure on the road, and it's a creating a noise pollution. Material handling by conveyor, some of the material are not feasible to transport by the transportation. It may be transferred to a belt drive or any chain drive or any type of the drive. That's a conveyor are creating a noise pollution and plus air pollution. Some of the dust are coming out from the conveyor, they are also creating a noise and air pollution. Rock blasting, sometimes we have to creating a tunnel on the rock, that's time we have to blast the and creating a tunnel inside the rock. That's all type of the noise pollution considering in a construction sources. Many more are there, but we have to discuss their points. Other miscellaneous sources that's also creating a noise pollution. The first is a in a residential area, loud voice of the TV, music system, radio, and etc. that are creating a noise pollution. If the hearable sound of the TV gives the output, otherwise we can use more and more sound. So it's a creating a noise pollution. Some of the mixer and Some of the grinder are used for a TV and music system, like as a home theater system, hoofer system. We have to play with a heavy sound that are creating a higher sound in our atmosphere. Then after the public address system, public function, Navratri festival, like at this type of the all festival and all types of the cultural activity, we can use a heavy sound bar. So it's creating a heavy sound and creating a noise pollution. Like as a any type of the function, we use a DJ system with a heavy sound, with a maximum bass and maximum treble that are creating a excess noise in our atmosphere. Some of the siren from the police and industrial siren that are giving a time information about that. Some of the railway siren that's also giving a in time and out time. Ambulance siren that's also are creating noise pollution in our atmosphere. Military sources, noise of bomb, centered explosion, tank and other vehicle and missile, etc. That's all type of the materials are creating a heavy noise in our atmosphere. Some of the other activities is there that's called as a stone crushing, construction, see, some of the heavy instrument, some of the higher siren that are creating a very much noise in our atmospheric condition. That's also creating a some of the effect in atmosphere, like as a physical effect, psychological effect, and it's creating a irritation to all living body. So we have to control all types of the noise. Some I have to giving a noise level and a measurement in a dB. Aeroplanes are creating 130 dB sound from its propeller. It's a heavy sound. From train sound are creating a 100 dB sound. Except with the it's a speaker sound or is a horn sound. Some of the printing press are creating a 80 dB sound. That are the creating a higher noise pollution. How we can it's a control? We can use earplug, ear muffler, or noise helmet or headphone for reducing the sound level in our ear. But it's that some of the cinema is there. It's creating a heavy sound inside the room. But that sometimes some of the cinema is not using a soundproof wall. It maybe absorb the excess sound from the speakers, and it's creating a echo effect. That's are the topic, the noise pollution and the source of noise pollution. Okay, thank you.